Hello everyone, Jason here for ByTheMinute MMA with Jamie Moyle, who fights Viviane Pereira on June the 3rd at UFC 212. Jamie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. So this will be your second fight in the UFC. I just wanted to go straight back to fight number one at the TUF finale in December. You had Kailin Curran, and one thing that always interests me, and I've spoken to a lot of people about this, especially when they make their UFC debut, a lot of people talk about how octagon jitters are very real. But watching that fight back, it didn't look like it affected you. Did you have any jitters in the cage that night?
I was definitely a little bit nervous. But I feel like anytime you go into kind of fight, you're a bit nervous, kind of accepted that you're going to be a little bit nervous. Excuse me. And I didn't really notice anything out of the ordinary kind of fight jitters. And it was also kind of, I was on the prelims, it was a smaller venue, so it's not like I walked out into this huge, crazy UFC crowd, that it could have been. But yeah, I felt pretty calm and relaxed in there.
Yeah, just coming to my mind actually, was that the night where there was the smaller octagon than usual because of the venue? Is that right?
I don't recall if it was the smaller octagon, but I would say it probably was because the venue was really, really small, so they probably threw a smaller octagon in there.
Yeah, my brain's remembering there was one night where there was a smaller octagon than usual in November, December, so it might have been that night. It was the night of the TUF finale, I think. So, but I guess somebody can correct me about that in a bit. So, obviously the fight goes on, 30-27 decision across the board. I didn't think there was too much argument, to be honest, about the score. There was a lot of good takedowns, especially takedown entries with underhooks in the body lock for you. Was there any part of your game plan that you felt didn't go to plan, or did you just feel really comfortable once you got your feet wet, so to speak?
Once I initially grabbed her, I felt pretty comfortable. I felt really strong in the clinch. I didn't have like a very strict game plan or anything. I just knew I kind of wanted to take her down. So yeah, I kind of forgot what the question was, but
No, I was just asking about your game plan and if you felt everything went to plan on that sense.
I think so. I think the plan was to get the smart takedowns and control the fight as much as I can, and yeah, I think I did a good job. I got a takedown every round, I believe. So I feel like I did good. I could have avoided some of those shots, but she's fast and she's good, so it was a tough fight.
And one thing that made the fight quite memorable was the bleeder that happened in the second round. Obviously, I saw at the end of the first round there was a swell, and I think from an accidental headbutt. Was that right?
Yeah, we both like came in to punch at the same time, and our heads just collided, and I kind of had this like weird welt on my face.
Yeah. And
And
then it was hard to tell, and I don't know if I'm right in saying this because I was trying to find out when I watched it back. When you lifted her up for the slam, when she was kind of fighting, did she come right across it, and that was what opened it up?
no, so what actually happened was I picked her up, and when I slammed her, I kept my head down on her hip, and I had just that big swelling right there. So when we landed, my eye right here was on her hip bone, and when we hit the ground so hard, it just exploded right when we
Right.
hit the ground. So you can see me like pick my head up for a second, and the blood starts gushing, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And then I just put my head back down. But yeah, that's what did it.
Yeah, it was actually hard to tell when you're watching it on the TV, but all you
Yeah.
really noticed is once you got the takedown and you moved into, I can't remember if you were in half guard or side control. As soon as you postured up, you just saw it dripping, and I was like, right, okay, something's happened here, obviously. And I remember in the third round as well, there was a point where I think there was a stoppage, and I think there was a bit of confusion if the stoppage was for an illegal knee or for a check on the cut, but I think they kind of did both at once.
Yeah, so I thought it was for the cut. And the ref actually came up to me and said, "Hey, was that knee illegal?" And I didn't even remember there being any kind of knee or any kind of illegal knee. So I just kind of just walked away, and I just kind of ignored him because I didn't know what to say. But yeah, I guess he stopped it for the knee just to make sure the knee was okay. And then they brought in the cut man afterwards just to kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah. So yeah, but like I said before, a really good performance. I didn't think there was too much argument about the 30-27 scorecard. I think she was having her moments in the third round, but you kind of iced the third round with a takedown at the end, and I think
Yeah.
a job well done for a UFC debut, definitely.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, before that, obviously, you were part of the Ultimate Fighter 23. I've only found out recently about how closed off the experience is, that you're kind of closed off from the outside world. How do you cope with that, and how long were you actually in the house?
We were in the house for about 5.5 weeks. So when you're actually in the house, they take away your cell phone. You have no TV in the house. You have no music. You have no nothing except for like you can have a journal, and that's pretty much it. And it's pretty crazy, you know. Like we were in my hometown, so for me, when we were driving to and from the gym and moving around, like I actually knew where we were. And, you know, like be like, oh, that's where my friend lives, or you know, I knew the area. But yeah, it's crazy. Like, you know, everybody's on their phone 24/7, and when you get in there, you don't have your phone for 5.5 weeks, and it looks like an alien when you get it back, you know, and you just have to find other things to occupy your time, and I feel like I did a lot of soul searching, and you know, it puts you in this position where you have to connect with everybody, and you have to rely on everybody for, you know, to keep your sanity and to make connections with people instead of, you know, keeping yourself busy with this or that, or, you know, you couldn't even walk out the house without telling somebody. So it's a very, I guess, eye-opening kind of learning experience.
Yeah. I always wonder as well, obviously, if you're only in there for 5.5 weeks, but obviously you're meshing with so many people who are on your level, as well as you've got Viviane and Jacek and Claudia Gadelha there as your coaches. Do you feel that you learn more in that 5.5 weeks than you would anywhere else, just because it's such a different environment than what you're used to?
I think definitely a lot of us learned a lot during that time. Maybe not so much as specific techniques or anything, but just working with Joanna. So she actually was there every day, and she would jump in with us every single day. She would grapple with us every day. She would, you know, be in there and working with us every day. So we got to see her work ethic and the way she would, you know, train every single day, perfect practice, and just the way she pushed herself. So, and also it was like when we were training with our teammates, we didn't know if we were going to end up fighting them. So every time that we trained, we were always in there trying to kill each other every single day. There was never like a light flow day, you know. So it's one of those things where you have to push yourself every single day, and when you do that, you're going to just progress really fast.
Yeah, and obviously you saw Joanna up close in that series, and I think that what people are realizing with Joanna is that she is like one of the nicest people in the world until the switch comes on. And then she becomes the Joanna champion, if you like. Do you see both sides of that when you're in the house, or is she just always on?
She was definitely when people were around, like the other team were around, she was definitely like that stone face, like always in Claudia's face, always having to say something, be the alpha female type of thing. But behind the scenes, when it was just our team, she was kind of hard on us in training, just because she's that type of person who trains super hard, so she wants us to train the way she trains. But she was very like loving, and if somebody had a bad time, she would go and sit next to them and talk with them and kind of nurture them. And she got us, like, we got so many pairs of shoes just because she had the Reebok sponsorship, and just gave us everything, you know. And her manager was there and always bought us whatever kind of food we wanted after our fights, and she was really sweet, and she really took care of us.
Yeah, and obviously your elimination in the TUF House came against Amanda Bobby Cooper, and I do remember thinking that fight was tied. Obviously there was 2 rounds. Did you feel a little aggrieved that went to a majority decision and you didn't have a 3rd round?
That was probably the toughest fight I had ever had. So after that 2nd round, I know I looked cool, but I was definitely like beat up, you know, and that was a really tough round for me. I don't even really remember much of all of that ground and pound that got landed on me. So looking back on the fight, I definitely think that I took the 1st round and she took the 2nd round. But for me, it could have been a blessing in disguise, because after that, it was controversial. So I asked Dana to give me another chance because of, you know, the controversial decision and everything. And so he gave me my chance, and he gave me another fight. And if I maybe would have went in for the 3rd round and just got creamed or something, then maybe I wouldn't have got that shot, you know. So I just look at it as a blessing.
That's brilliant honesty as well. I appreciate that. So, yeah. So obviously before, I feel like I'm going backwards at the moment. Obviously before that, you had your first 4 pro fights in Invicta. We actually spoke to Andrea Lee on Friday, and we've been doing as much Invicta coverage as we can over here.
Cool.
Just a quick word about Invicta. Obviously, Shannon Knapp. It was the 5-year anniversary of the promotion just a couple of days ago, and I feel like that promotion has achieved a lot in just 5 years. And do you feel like the way that Shannon Knapp runs it, that she wants to build a promotion but she's not going to stand in anyone's way, has led to such a successful promotion in just 5 years?
Yeah, man, she's just an amazing person, and she wants what's best for all the fighters. So I think just having that kind of mentality is going to bring her so many good things. And that's crazy that you say 5 years, because I remember like when they first had their first show, and it's like, holy cow, it's been that long already. But yeah, she's just been super cool. When I told her I was going on for TUF, she was just super cool and super nice about it, and she, would never try to hold anybody back. So she's just there to give any girl that wants it the opportunity, and I think that's what brings her so many good things, just being a good person.
Yeah, definitely a big fan of Invicta, and Invicta 23 coming up on May 20th. I would recommend that to anybody. So coming up on June the 3rd, you've got Viviane Pereira. Now, obviously, there's always one pay-per-view a year that takes place in Brazil, and this is the one. And the dynamic is always pretty much up and down the card. It's always Brazil against the rest of the world.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time you fought outside the United States. Are you kind of looking forward to being the road fighter in this one?
I'm super excited. I know I'm going into the hometown of my fighter, the girl, my opponent. But I'm just kind of embracing that, I've never really done that before, and I've been doing BJJ for like 8 years, and I've been around so many Brazilian people, so I've always wanted to visit the country, and I heard it's really beautiful, so I'm just super excited I get to do what I love, and I get to travel to all these cool places.
Yeah, definitely. And I think she obviously is 1-0 in the UFC, the same as you. And I don't know if this is kind of an unfair assessment of her fight against Valerie Letourneau, but I kind of felt with her being 5'0", Valerie being such a big strawweight and missing weight, I kind of felt that the size difference kind of brought the fight down a little bit, so it was hard to really get in that fight an idea of what Viviane's skills really are. But I thought she won the fight 2-1, but I didn't feel it gave an accurate assessment of what she can do. What do you think? What are you expecting in this fight coming up?
I agree with what you said. I think she's usually more of a aggressive striker, and she couldn't really do that with Valerie because Valerie's just so big and long. So I think that, I think she's probably going to come out a little bit more aggressive with me. Her and I are the same height, so she's not going to have as much of a problem, with the reach. So I think she's just going to come in and probably just throw some aggressive hands is what I'm expecting.
Yeah, it seems likely, obviously, especially when you look at her record when she was fighting in the Brazilian promotions. Now, I hate to ask this question because it's going to come out more patronising than I mean, but in terms of you being 5'1" and her being 5'0", is this going to be the shortest fight in UFC history?
It might be. I
tried to do some research and I couldn't find anything, so I'm unsure.
The only other person who's short like us was like Tisha Torres, and I don't think she's ever fought anybody as short as her. So this might go down in history as the 2 shortest fighters, combined total of height.
any selling point to me is a good selling point, so I'm quite happy to put that out there. But yeah, I think I'm really looking forward to this fight as well, and I do love the Brazilian dynamic as well. So I'm sure you're going to be, no offense, quite unpopular in the building, but if there's a fight like your fight with Kailin Curran, I think the fans are definitely going to enjoy it. Especially the Brazilian fans like to see good action. So, if this fight goes successful, are you the type to think down the line about what you'd like next, or are you just taking it one at a time and we'll see what comes up?
I'm always kind of looking ahead a little bit while staying focused in the now. So I definitely know that this fight is super, super important, and I need to focus on winning this fight to get me to where I want to go. But I also know that this fight could be a huge stepping stone for me to get somewhere even bigger. So, when I do go in there and I do my thing, I think if I beat somebody like her, she's 12-0, she's ranked. I'm definitely thinking about how, this could be a big opportunity for me, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. I think she's just snuck in the rankings the last couple of months, hasn't she? Is she 14 or 15 at the moment?
Something like that, yeah.
I can't remember, but yeah, definitely a brilliant opportunity. And assuming there's no problems injury wise or anything like that, and you were to get a win, how quickly would you like to turn around and fight again?
I'd like to fight again the next 2 to 3 months. I like to be active. I like to stay busy all the time. It keeps me motivated. It keeps me going. So, go in there, do my thing, and hopefully stay healthy, fight, and put in a good performance so they'll want back that soon.
Yeah, but yeah, hopefully. So, just wanted to talk about your team. You train with Syndicate MMA in Las Vegas. Now, there's a couple of names that might jump out to people. Obviously, Khalil Roundtree was the runner-up on the TUF in the light heavyweights. He's coming to Scotland as well, so we might have to catch up with him at some point. I know he's fighting in the Glasgow card in July.
Yeah.
You got Tom Lawler as well, who's obviously on a little bit of an adventure at the moment. And John Wood was in your corner for the fight in December. I take it, going by how good his advice was, and I was really impressed with his cornering, I take it he'll be right back there in Brazil.
Yeah, he's going to be my main corner with me there in Brazil.
Yeah, definitely. I was really impressed. There's a few cornermen out there that always just kind of jump out, and he definitely did. So I was really impressed with the advice that he gave. Across Syndicate, like I said, there's a few names that people know. Is there any names that are kind of under the radar at the moment that people need to keep an eye out for in the future?
Let's see. We still have my longtime training partner, Roxanne Modafferi, who's always improving, and I know she eventually wants to make it back to the UFC. So, I fully support her, and I hope that they make the 125 division so she could eventually make it back.
I hope so.
We have actually Eric Spicely training at my gym right now, doing his camp because he's on the Brazil card as well. And we have actually Khalil's little brother, who is a 125er. He's an amazing little spark plug, and we're hoping to get him on The Ultimate Fighter or something sometime soon. So all kinds of talent at that gym.
Excellent, good to see. So, so I suppose we can start letting you go just now. Is there any plugs you want to put out? Any social media sponsors, anything like that?
I'd like to say thank you to my gym, Syndicate, everybody at my gym. My strength and conditioning gym is CrossFit Combine. They're always there helping me every day, so I'd like to give them a shout out. And I'd like to thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, anytime, absolutely. One thing I do need to ask, actually, where does the Twitter handle come from? that needs to be asked.
Everybody was kind of like, you need to get Twitter, you need to get Instagram, and kind of pressuring me to do all this social media because obviously it's a big part of what we do. And I got on there one day and I was like, I can't think of a name. I'm just going to wait till later and not do it. And I was like, no, just find something random right now. Otherwise, you're never going to do it. And that's just something that came to my head. I'm the type of person that likes to hug people and love people and be happy. And, that's the kind of stuff that makes me happy. So I was like, oh, I'm just a boat of love. I'm the love boat. And I figured I would end up changing it later. And people were like, hey, no, it's cool. Keep it. So it kind of stuck,
I think we need to get a Twitter campaign to get Bruce Buffer to read that out as your nickname in Brazil. I think so.
If everybody petitions and wants that, but I don't think I'm ever going to have Bruce Buffer announce me as the love boat before a fight. But you never know what's going to happen,
It wouldn't be the worst nickname out there anyway, but yeah. I just thought I did wonder actually when it never got read out as the nickname. I thought, is this just something random on Twitter that nobody gets? But yeah, I do like it. So yeah, go follow her at Loveboat. Is it Loveboat Jamie, isn't it? Yeah.
Loveboat Jamie, yeah.
Yeah, get on that, everyone. So we'll let you go just now. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you so much.
And like I say, you're welcome on anytime. And hopefully you get a win in Brazil on June the 3rd.
Great. Thank you so much.
Nice one. And we'll be back again sometime. Cheers.